In this video, I want to show you something really cool, and this is called the Alive Progress Bar. Basically what it is, it's a simple pip installable package, which lets you add a video game style progress or loading bar into your code. So, the first thing I'm going to do is show you a quick demo with some code which is right out the box here. So just to sort of show you something first, if I just do my kind of reverse here. So pip install Alive Progress, mine's already installed, but yeah, if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to see pip work its magic. I'll make sure this is all linked in the description down below. But yeah, it's a simple pip install and you're good to go, really. Now, one thing you can do straight out the box is this. So if I copy and paste this down here, yours might just be Python 3, Python 3.10, whatever. If I run this, it gives you a little demo right out the box to show you what it looks like in practice. So it will go through, it goes on for quite a while, so I won't show all of it. But it shows you different contexts in which it can run. So these three here is when you've got like a definite end, so like 1,000 of 1,000, I don't know, files, requests or whatever. Or you can have it where there's unknowns and it'll just do a little bar going back and forth. But there's a ton of different options we can use to make this suit whatever task we're doing. One thing you can do as well, if I import this and bring in this here, this showtime function, it's basically like a little showroom of things you can do. So if I just go to this one and hit run, bring it up ever so slightly, this shows you the different ways you can style your progress bars. So, I mean, yeah, there's quite a lot really, isn't there? We've got all these emojis. That's apparently a crab at the bottom. Yeah, yeah, but you know, you get the idea. You can do as many kind of styles as you want. So depending on what context you're in, if you want something serious or something fun, you can just choose one of these and your progress bar will look just how you want it. And let's do two demonstrations. Let's do a really simple one just to go over some arbitrary loop. And then we'll do one where we're going to process some text files just to show you what it looks like in practice. So let's do total, for example, here, and say total is equal to 100. In fact, we'll do 101 just to make it, well, you'll see in a second. Then let's do for I in range, and let's do total. In fact, we'll do 1 comma total. And then we'll print off a little f string just to say we are processing, let's do I like this here, or task I in this case. So that should run just fine. Okay, it does. Oh, we've got that. I even spelled task wrong. So I'm doing this right at the end of the day, so apologies. Okay, I've also imported time as well. The reason why, suppose you then did time.sleep 0. Let's do 0.05, just to simulate this, like taking time to do a task. And there we go. So, I mean, for most cases, this is probably okay. It's just saying, yeah, we're processing this, and here we go. But this, in my view, is the exact sort of situation you'd want a loading bar for. So what we can do is we can basically take all this code which is looping over something and doing a task. We can put it inside the context of an Alive bar, and the Alive bar can basically wrap this up and make it just look a whole lot better for us. So what we can do is say with Alive bar, and then the first thing it wants is some kind of integer. So, and this integer basically controls the length of the bar. And then inside the context manager, we basically increment the bar forward. So the parameter is called total. Confusing I've done this is total as well, but I can just say total. Let's make sure this is all fancy. As bar. Let's put this inside here like this. And then what basically happens is, because I've done with Alive bar effectively 101, we now need to tell the progress bar to increment and move forward. And the best way of doing it really is here. So think of this as like, I don't know, maybe a generator, and this is saying next. I guess, yeah, totally different, but it's, you know, sort of the same thing. This is kind of setting up some structure. This is like almost like how the next function tells a generator to go, okay, next item, next item. This is basically bumping the progress bar forward. Yeah, I guess same concept, but I don't know, different at the same time. But yeah, let's run this again. And there we go. Look at that. It's doing this little animation at the bottom here. Tells me how long it took, 18.64 per second, 5.4 seconds, and it's also got this here as well. So straight out the box, without any customization, this has gone ahead and done that. I can also remove the print statement, and it'll just go ahead and do the loading bar like this here with its default settings. Let's make it a bit fancier. Let's say spinner equals 12. So I'll just try one of the options. Hit run, and look at that. So this bit now is changed to make this little arrows moving, I guess. There we go. So by default it's going to be the first one we saw, but if you want to make it look a bit fancier, yeah, you can pass in this spinner keyword argument, choose what you want to do, and then your progress bar will change accordingly. Let's also mess around with the bar as well. So if I did bar is equal to bubbles like this, I'll leave that one there for a second, but now it look a bit different. So yeah, it's a bar rather than that block. So you can really kind of go to town with the customization. Depends on, I guess, what you're doing really. But yeah, the spinner as twirls and bar as bubbles, I think looks kind of cool. Okay, so given that simple example, let's quickly comment this out for a second. And let's try something a bit more kind of real worldy. Now what I've got here, I've got this folder called some files. I'm going to take the path for this. Actually, quickly what I've just got a load of text files in here. So I'm going to be kind of simulating processing these here. Now let's get some code set up to process these files. So we'll say from pathlib, we're going to be importing path here. And let's just say files directory is equal to path of this here. Now what we can do is iterate over them. So we can say for file in, it's going to be files directory dot iter directory like this here. So this will kind of produce an iterable of all of the stuff inside this directory. I just quickly check it's working here. So say print file like this. So we should see, yeah, there we go. So I've just got 4 text files in there, and that's fine. Now what I can do is do content is equal to file.read text. There we go. And maybe let's just suppose we're doing something really straightforward. Maybe we're counting the total length of all of the text inside those files. So let's say total count is equal to 0 here. And then once we've got the contents, we can say total count plus equals, let's do the len of contents like this here. And then underneath, let's say processed file blank. And then we'll do like total len is another little f string slot. So I'll do an f for this one. So we'll do file in here, and then in this one we'll do total count like that. I hope that's all right. That's a lot of code in one go. And let's hit run. It does, yeah. Process file this looks good. I think if I do stem with this, hopefully this is right. There we go. Yeah, so we can just do the this bit here. This basically gives you the file name without the suffix or with the start of the path. So that's fine. I'm happy with that. Just to keep it nice and short for the time being. So we can see it iterating through the files to give us a length of 9, 14, 27, 32. I guess to make it a bit more real worldy, maybe it's doing like a large amount of processing to sort of simulate it. Let's make it sleep for like half a second before each one. There we go. So now we have our simple example from earlier, and we have some code which is iterating over a directory and doing a bit of kind of mock processing. Let's implement the alive bar, but for this example here. Now, the only real difference is that with the previous one, we had an explicit integer of 101, which we were going over. We basically need to just figure out how can we tell how many files there are, and then like how many are we on. So there's a few ways you could do this. This returns a generator, so you could like potentially pass that into a list and work out the length of the list and do it that way. You could also use the glob function. So let's just quickly try something. Let's do files directory dot glob. Glob is just going to kind of look for things. So if I just do this here, there we go. We get this generator object. Now I think, let's see, if I just did len like this here. Let's try that again. Yeah, so in this case here, object of type generator has no len. Yeah, fair enough. So what I can do is cast the whole generator into a list and then work out the length of the list. Okay, so we get 4, that's fine. So now that we have this 4, let's get rid of the print. This is basically going to be what's replacing total. So let's just kind of hold that there for a second and build this up piece by piece. We'll clear the screen first, and then we'll do exactly the same as earlier. So we'll say with alive bar. Now this is where total is going to go. So I'll do total equals, and I can just take all of this, put this inside here like this, and then say as bar. So it's basically the same as earlier. It's just that obviously the thing we're kind of working the length of is a bit more complex in this case. Bring our for loop in, indented. In the previous one, we did bar at the end of the for loop, so at the end of each individual iteration. We can do exactly the same thing here as well. Let's try this again. What I will do, I'll just kind of remove the print for a second. And there we go. Yeah, so it's done 4 out of 4, 100%, 2 seconds, 1.74 per second. If I can bring this back, do exactly the same. And there we go, looks good. If I remove this actually, let's just try and do X, copy, get rid of this. There we go. So this time, because I've not given it an explicit length, just try that again. Check out like how it didn't do the block, it's done this little arrow. So if you don't pass anything in here, it will just kind of assume there's no length and give you that. Whereas if you put this in instead, you've given it like a discrete kind of fixed endpoint. So therefore you get the bar as well. So let's quickly clear that up. So just to recap, the way we tend to use this is we use it as a context manager. So you just say with a live bar, total equals, and then some number. So whether this is things you're iterating over, numbers of web requests you're making, or just some fixed arbitrary number like we did earlier, you can say with the alive bar as something, in this case bar, and then at the end of each individual task, you just have to make sure that you do bar as a function call. So I make sure this and this match up. This will make sure that the actual progress bar bumps up or increments up each time. And then you're good to go. Just a reminder, I'll make sure I leave the link to the documentation in the description below. And if you managed to use this, or if you've got any more feedback or interesting quirks, feel free to leave us a comment. But I hope this is helpful and you can manage to use this in your own code. Cheers for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.